What's up guys, Chris here with another 4 Nights of the Apocalypse manga chapter review, and I have to say this one was a doozy. Last one had some really good setup, some very creepy vibes of what's actually going on in this new village. An and Nazians with a hunter to try and go and save Percival and Donnie from this den of monsters, and Sin encountering the elder of the village and seemingly falling unconscious. All this setting up from the last chapter to now. Something's going on with Sin and this village as a whole, and I want to find out more about what's going on. And this chapter really, and I mean really, takes things up a notch to the point where you have to wonder what's really going on, because this one answered a lot of questions, but also set up so many more answers. And I have to say, with all these questions and even more, we got answers, we got even more questions, you have to wonder what's Suzuki's plan for the rest of the series, because I'm still curious as to what is going on at this point. And we're going to get into that as we go on, because things might not be as they appear. But before we get into the actual video, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell for updates on future videos. It really does help. These 4 Nights videos are doing very well on the channel, and I will keep bringing you guys content as quickly as I possibly can. We're inching ever closer to 1,000 subscribers, so I really hope you guys can help us get there. Once we reach 1,000 subscribers, I will be doing my best to upload more videos that aren't just chapter reviews, so look forward to that. And also, don't forget to check out my Patreon account as well as Coffee to help support the channel with different perks and the like. It really will help me get these videos out a lot sooner. But with all that out of the way, let's get straight into the video. The 4 Nights of the Apocalypse, Chapter 34, True Nature's Exposed. And this is honestly a very, very accurate title, since we got a very creepy page to start this off, with the elder with all the villagers just smiling and smirking towards us, the reader. Anyway, we start off the chapter with An and Nazians going through the barrier to try and start the rescue mission, as the hunter slowly begins to go towards the barrier, and it seems his hand is repelled by it as it's singed and burned. He tells the kids good luck and that it all depends on them now, as he then tries to get the attention of the monsters in the village, as he said he's going to be a distraction. Nazians is wondering if he's going to be alright, but An says that they have to hurry so that they can save everyone. And now they're heading to the idol in the center of town. An staying this time with Nazians to just vent her frustration, saying how much trouble Donnie and Percival are, and at this point she's just mainly complaining about Percival. And she even brings up a really good point. After everything that happened to him in Kant, how he can just go about things like nothing happened at all is like very bizarre. And Nazian says that that's what makes him Percival. That's just what makes him who he is, and that's true. I like that Percival is having like a more upbeat personality despite everything he went through in Kant. However, I do see there is going to be a breaking point with him at some point. And I do like how, since Percival's like Nazian's first real friend, he's just defending him every single chance he gets. And I think he's also, I think Nakaba's also trying to like ship the Nazian and Percival shippers, because there are those out there, and I do see that actually being a legitimate ship outside of like An and Percival and stuff like that. That's actually a very fun thing to think about. And I even like how An is just straight up saying to, well, telling Nazians to not defend him so much and to just, you know, treat him regularly and not just be kind to him every single chance he gets. And she even starts complaining about Sin, how he's incredibly pompous, and he just ditches them right when it seems that they need him most. I mean, right now they don't know that he is unconscious somewhere due to the elder, so yeah, these are kind of justified. And she even starts, and An even tries to say that in order to be a holy knight, you gotta be cold, calculated, so you can understand all your circumstances. And Nazian even says you're griping about your friends under these. And An just straight up says, with no real shame or embarrassment, that she's taking this opportunity to show just how good of a leader she can be for all of them, so that she can be the leader of their group, and that this is the perfect chance for that. I know we all know for a fact that she's worried about them because they're her friends, but she still is very arrogant and wants to be the leader. So I do see this being an actual thing that I don't know. It's funny. It's a funny interaction. As Nazian just says, enough of that, let's just get the job done. And almost on cue, they notice Donnie in the distance, yelling in pain, clutching his head and kneeling on the ground. It's almost like his head is splitting, like he has a splitting pain in his head. Nazian tells An to go and destroy the idol as he goes to treat Donnie. An runs off towards where the idol should be as the townspeople are surrounding Donnie and Nazian's. Nazian's asking what happened as Donnie's just saying not to be very loud. It hurts his head as he looks over to the alcohol bottles that are on the ground and beginning to try and piece everything together. An begins to run and sneakily with Sylvain to try and find the idol as she hears Percival's voice and we see him getting tossed around by one of the villagers. She's concerned but ends up deciding to leave Percival there so she can go get the job done and go back for him because they don't have much time. If they can take out the idol, then it'll show Percival and Donnie what's going on and that they can start to fight back. But then we get the realization that Percival isn't really doing a serious fight. It seems like he's sparring with this villager, saying how strong he is. Nazian actually notices and calls up to him. As Percival asks if Donnie's alright, Donnie's fine now, thanks to Nazian's. As Donnie says that this is that this really was some real demon brew, and that he's never been so sick from it in his whole life. And Percival ends up answering Nazian's, asking what's going on. Turns out what Percival's been doing right now is that he's been teaching Gorin. You know, that Celtic fighting style, Celtic wrestling fighting style that has been shown multiple times throughout this series as something that Percival and his grandfather did basically for training and for fun almost every single day of their lives. And he's been teaching them to this villager who's called I hope I pronounce this right, Dolcemonte, and he's really good. Donnie's asking how he knows his name, and Percival just says he just kind of learned it as they played around. The villager speaks this language that we can't read. As Donnie says that they got no idea what he's trying to say, and Nazian even agrees that it's very unfamiliar, nothing like what you would hear in Britannia. Percival looks over, seems to nod, and then he begins to speak in that exact same language, asking what language is this? It's not originally from Britannia, where Nazians and Donnie are even shocked as well as how Percival can just literally understand and start to speak a language that they have no idea to comprehend or understand. And even Percival's like, why can't I understand this? So that's a very funny and very weird interaction. And I want to know more what's going on as we find out later in the chapter what type of language this actually is. But I'll get into that as we move on. We then cut to An as she's in the center of town where the idol is, and just hyping herself up and reminding herself of what we already know: destroying this idol or removing it from the spot will break down the barriers surrounding the town and show who these villagers actually are. She gets her rope ready, ties it around it, gets on Sylvain, as now she begins to pull. Cut to the elder as it appears he's possibly talking to Sin still, saying that he rather likes that wing-headed boy. A strange and fascinating lad, as he then gets a shiver down his spine, as well as all of the villagers with a weird crackling noise spiraling through them. And is wondering if the device is malfunctioning. With Sylvain, pulling the rope as An is on the back, also pulling with all her strength, she's vowing to rescue her friends and make sure that no one gets the better of her, and that she'll never be a holy knight if she can't pull something like this off. As she then recites the Holy Knight's Creed, the idol then comes off from where it's placed, and it falls down to the ground, and then it gets destroyed as An just runs away from it. We then hear the crash in the distance where the hunter is, and we then get to see all the villagers just burst open in light, the crackling around them, as now, with all this going on, everyone's wondering what's going on. As Percival's saying, you scared me, Doltomoche, and then he pauses, and then we get to see he's a red demon, much to the shock of everyone around, and a big 2-page spread showing everyone in the village turning into gray and red demons. This village This village was a secret hideaway for the Demon Clan. This is insane. And this brings up so many questions. Why are these demons here? And this also brings to the fact why they needed that barrier to hide their true selves. And are these demons really bad? Because at the end of this chapter, the hunter states that they broke down the barrier and that they did a great job, as he then removes his coat, and we then see an armor plating on his arm, and it's revealed that he is a holy knight of Camelot, as he then states, "Let the hammer of blood fall upon other tribes. Now is the time to return Britannia to the human race." Basically, everything that all the holy knights of Camelot recite and follow for Arthur's ideals. So, even though he didn't really lie about, well, wanting to stop these monsters, this also shows that he wasn't technically lying, since An couldn't be deceived. It is a village of monsters, and he does want to get rid of them. He doesn't want any humans getting hurt from them, but he is a knight of Camelot, fully and firmly believing that all their tribes must be done away with, so that Britannia can be only for humans and humans alone. So let's back up for 3 main pieces of information. We just went over 1. This hunter is a holy knight of Camelot, and it seems that that barrier was not just concealing the demon clan's true forms, but also keeping out Arthur's Knights of Camelot. Now, who created this? I'm not sure. It could have been maybe Meliodas or Zeldris. Maybe Merlin set this up like years in advance or something. We don't know. But this guy is a holy knight, and it seems that he has been like staking the village out, potentially waiting for someone that could go through that barrier and tricking them into basically, no, not tricking them, convincing them that that village is not what it seems, to get rid of the idol, the center of the town, the thing that's keeping him out, so that he can go in full swing and destroy the demons. 2, what are the demons doing there? A village literally on a mountain range that's on the other side is Leonis. And remember, Meliodas is a demon. Zeldris is a new king of the demon realm from the end of the 7 deadly sins, since the demon king is, has been killed. So what are these demons doing on this mountain range? Are these the demons that during the Holy War, after defeating the Demon King, were these demons just left behind, unable to go back to the demon realm? Did they want to stay and live a life there without having to hurt anybody? And if so, did Meliodas set this up so that they could have these disguises so that they could interact with people going across the mountain ranges, perhaps helping them out, beginning to show them that they're not so bad? But also, here's the thing: all these demons speak in the demon tongue, but the elder can speak plain English. He's most likely probably a powerful and old demon, perhaps maybe a member of Zeldris's inner circle. We are not entirely sure, because this guy is definitely a very intelligent demon, as he is able to actually speak the Britannian tongue. Meanwhile, all lower level demons basically can't speak that. And this also explains that their creepy smiles and grins and being unable to talk to everyone else in Britannia. But one of the biggest pieces of information alongside this is also the fact that Percival can speak the demon tongue. We have more questions about Percival. We know he's one of the members of the 4 Knights of the Apocalypse. He's basically immortal to an extent, but now it seems that he can speak the language of the Demon Clan. We don't know who Percival is. All we know is his father is a holy knight, but what's going on here? Is he half demon, perhaps? That's a theory that's been going on that I've seen on like some of the Reddits and on social media. Is Percival half demon, similar to, let's say, Tristan? I'm not sure. Was his mother a demon or something like that? Or is there something else in Percival that makes him able to understand it? Maybe it's part of his hero type power. Maybe he's able to pick up other languages or something like that. I'm not sure. I don't know. But I want to find out. And I feel like at the end of this arc, we're going to find out. And before I end off this chapter, I really do feel like this is going to be the arc where Sin reveals who his identity is, as we keep getting hints of, well, not just hints, teases of Sin, being needed by the gang, thanks to An. And the last 2 chapters have been giving us more Sin-centric perspectives. And I'm just really curious as to what the hell is going on, and I really hope that the common theory that pretty much everyone in the fanbase has by now, that Sin is in fact really Lancelot. If Sin is Lancelot, this makes everything comes full circle, makes a complete and total sense, and if Sin is Lancelot, perhaps he's staying in that fox form because he can only he can't reveal his identity just yet, so that the Knights of Camelot can actually believe that the rest of the 4 knights are scattered throughout Britannia and no one knows their true identities. So if he reveals that he is one of the 4 Knights of the Apocalypse, then they might even go after Bon and the Fairy King's forest that Bon is in charge of at the moment. We're not entirely sure. I do hope that this sets up for Lancelot's true big reveal, because it does make sense that he would be the first member of the 4 Knights of the Apocalypse that Percival would meet, because after the end of the Seven Deadly Sins manga, and before the first chapter of the series, in that time frame, we got a one-shot following Lancelot, as well as stating that he disappeared for a good number of years, I think 6 or 7 years, and he appeared all of a sudden afterwards. Maybe something to do with the Lady of the Lake. We don't know, other phenomenon. There's a whole mess of things that we don't know yet, and it makes thematic and it makes a whole lot of narrative sense, as with Lancelot being the last character for us to see between the Seven Deadly Sins manga ending and the beginning of this new series. It makes perfect sense that he is the first member of the 4 Knights of the Apocalypse to join Percival. But that's all for my little speculations and theories and stuff like that. What did you guys think of this chapter? What do you think of the fact that there is a literal village of demons between, let's say, Camelot and Leonis on this weird mountain range, and that there's a Holy Knight of Camelot ready to exact divine justice, divine punishment on these demons? And what do you think is up with Percival knowing the language of the demons all of a sudden? Leave it all down in the comments down below, as well as whether or not Lancelot is actually going to be revealed to be Sin in this arc, because all signs point to that being a very strong possibility. But without further ado, that's it for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. It really helps. Inching ever closer to 1,000 subscribers, and I am really hoping we make it to that before the end of the year. And with all that said, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope you all have an awesome day.